You know someone else who they should probably keep locked up, not in prison necessarily, but at least shut away so she can't say anything about the movie she's in? The Wicked star, Cynthia Erivo. Because we talked about this the other day, Jeremy, when this story kind of went viral about this fan edit, a true fan edit of a poster for Wicked. Wicked, the book that got turned into a musical that was highly, incredibly successful, is now being turned into a movie. The lead actress who plays the Wicked Witch of the West, Cynthia Erivo, criticizes offensive edit to the Wicked poster. And she pretended like this edit, which was literally just done to make it look more like the original Broadway musical poster by a fan, nonetheless, not a hater. She acted like this is the most offensive thing imaginable, that it was disgusting, that people would try to cover her up and hide her. That's not okay. And of course, when you hire woke activists who only care about their identity, this is what they're going to do. They're going to turn everything into being all about themselves, all about their identity as a black, queer, bald woman. And that's supposed to mean something. No one cares about that shit. And she just can't stop. I wanted to go over this clip. My Nerdy Home shared it the other day. This is a play that's been out there for quite some time, for decades, right? And highly successful. A lot of acclaim for Wicked. A lot of different people have played this actress, but apparently because she's black and queer, she's the most authentic to the source material because she understands what it's like to be different.
Intention is not to diminish anyone else's version of Elphaba.
Yeah, of course not.
Elphaba by the name is the name of the Wicked Witch of the West before she becomes the Wicked Witch of the West. Because I know probably no one in the chat knows that. Because you're not the target demographic.
Ever. But the intention is to allow her to show up as me in my body.
Right.
And I loathe to make it about this, but it is what it is.
You do not loathe to make it about this. You love to make it about this. Shut the fuck up.
As a black woman who is queer,
no,
who shows up in this way,
absolutely,
there's something that I have that many other Elphabas don't have. They don't know what it is like to walk through the world like this. I do.
Yeah.
And so that
God, man,
makes me completely different. And the way he shot it, the way the space that he gave me to do it is fucking awesome.
I bet it's
How can you want to be surrounded by fucking weirdos like this? How miserable must it be to be surrounded by people like this that are just so obsessed with identity and victimhood and all of this bullshit? It's excruciating to listen to clowns like this, dude. It's absolutely unbelievable. Holy shit, it's torture.
Yeah, and like this is what happens when you hire people like this, right? This is what you're going to get. They're going to make everything about this. This is how they view the world, which is why somebody like this, who is just so obsessed about being black and queer, this is why they freak out over a nothing burger.
Nothing.
Because like if she was white, right? If she was white and she had said something like this, every single person would have laughed and shouted her down and mocked her. As it was, about 80% of people did that. The other ones were like, you don't understand. She has experience as a black woman. You don't understand. That's why she doesn't want to be hidden. Go fuck yourself. God. This is so stupid.
It really is. But it represents what's happening in so many different properties right now. People like her, activists, victim narrative-driven people, identity politics-driven people. They want every franchise that has any type of platform whatsoever so they can hijack it and take full advantage of it and push their bullshit because they can't build from the ground up. I've said this more times than I can count. You cannot build on social justice. You can't sit there and go, we're going to take this nothing franchise and build a platform off of social justice. You can't do that. So they have to hijack things that already have a following. And then they're going to yell at you when you don't support their bullshit because they've hijacked it. Every single time, that's what they do. You can't build off of social justice. Can't do it.
Yeah, and I don't even know when it comes to the movie itself how much of this, because obviously she's not black in the movie, right? She's green, she's weird, she's different already. That is part of the story, right? That she gets treated differently and shit like that. I do not, although a lot of people in our audience, right, probably have no fucking interest in this, especially now. I do think it's going to achieve fairly good numbers at the box office, frankly, because it has a different target demographic. I think it's very similar to the target demographic for the Barbie movie. And I don't think this movie is going to make $1.5 billion. I think that would be a little bit ridiculous. I do think it's going to be a successful financial movie. It's got a pretty big budget of $150 million. Right now, you know, projections domestically are over $100 million opening for the movie.
Really?
Yes, it's big.
Man.
That's why I said outside of our, and I'll call it echo chamber, not because I am like being derogatory, but just in general, you know, us, Jeremy, our audience, we're 90+% men. That's not who this is made for. And if you have somebody like this that comes out and is being inserted into a male-dominated franchise, something like Star Wars, that is going to turn so many people off, right? But just like we kind of saw with a little bit of the Barbie movie stuff, where so many people thought, oh, it's going to flop because of this. I would just caution people to let's see how it goes, because I think it's going to be a different story for this, because it's made for different people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the Barbie thing, I mean, I can't remember what I thought about Barbie in terms of like what it was going to do. I haven't seen Barbie. It's clearly not made for me, so I didn't watch the Barbie movie, and I'm not going to see it. But I understood that, you know, Barbie's an iconic name that transcends kind of, you know, fandom and into, you know, kind of the normie audiences. And then Margot Robbie takes it to another level. I mean, Wicked, I know it's a big, you know, story and play and all that shit, but who is that Ariana Grande?
It is Ariana Grande.
Yeah. I know she's a big star, but so is Lady Gaga, which didn't translate with the Joker movie, but there's a huge audience out there.
A lot of women that like Ariana Grande.
So,
you know, got inserted into something. And I don't even know if it's I don't know how much the star power of Ariana Grande is going to matter in the grand scheme of things. I just think it's the franchise itself, and we'll see what happens. Like, if it does open to that, it would be behind, like, I don't know what even Inside Out 2 opened to, but yeah, it's going to be one of the bigger openings of the year, I think.
Interesting. You've been saying that for a while too, that it's going to have a huge opening, and I know Ryan does this.
I've seen so many people say, well, this is now a flop, and I just want to, just like the Barbie movie, where I tried to bring people off back that edge who I thought were going to be terribly, terribly wrong when they said the movie was going to crash and burn. I'm trying to do the same thing with this movie.
That is correct, yes, and that's what I was going to say. Is Ryan often sees like a narrative building, and he's like, you are setting yourself up for failure if you're saying that this movie is going to fail. You're not paying attention. So, and it still could ultimately fail, but opening weekend is going to be a big bump. Is your argument?
Yeah, I think the opening is going to be really big, and you know what? It could come in under projections. These are just projections at the box office, but I think this is something that's outside our realm of things that we are aware of in this space. The way people are talking about it in this space is not the way that the audience that it's made for, that they are trying to attract. It's probably not being talked about in the same way there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we just have to be mindful of that. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. We'll see how it plays out. But the star is just an absolutely just disgusting human being and hates, you know, pretty much anybody that disagrees with her and spews a bunch of nonsense. And I don't know how anybody with a normal sense of like the world could just be around somebody like that just looks to be the fake victim at all times. Fucking weirdos, man. Good Lord.